Last few weeks, I had been noticing I was missing something crucial in my wardrobe. A good, comfy, oversized black sweater. I had so many of these in the past, but they usually were Zara or H&M sweaters that never really fit quite right or weren't the quality that I wanted. So I decided to make my own. I had been eyeing quite a few different patterns, but ultimately decided on the 1031 Ozetta sweater just because I loved the way it looked. I first cast on with 6mm needles and knit the entire back before realising it was way too big. I frogged it all and cast it on again on a smaller size, and that was more to my liking. Even though it didn't really perfectly fit gauge, it was good enough to continue. I had decided to order Drops Nepal for this project after having a good experience with the Drops Lima yarn and wanting to see if this yarn would suit me too. Honestly, looking back now, I wish I hadn't chosen this yarn, but I'll elaborate more on that later. All in all, the experience of knitting with it was very positive and easy. Nothing really negative to say about knitting with it. But yeah, I'll talk more about the end results later in this video. Hi, I thought I'd quickly give an update on where I am with my new sweater. I am knitting the Ozetta sweater in this Drops Nepal yarn in black. So far, I'm very much enjoying how it's going. I haven't had any trouble so far. I cast on as instructed, shaped the back, and then shaped front, joined in the round. And then I actually decided before finishing the body to try something different and not follow the pattern exactly, as in I'm still following the instructions, but I'm changing up the sequence, and start on the ribbed neck before going on with the body. I'd read online a few times already that people prefer to do this so that the sweater doesn't weigh too much when you're working on the sleeves and on the neckline. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I'm hoping I don't miss any instructions by doing this, because usually I just read them from beginning to end, but we'll see. So yeah, I actually restarted this one once. I feel like that's happening more and more lately. I have my notes on the screen here. But yeah, I tried to make gauge with the 6mm needles, which was what the pattern asked for, and I did. My gauge was slightly off. I did decide to go ahead, and then when I had finished the back panel, I noticed this is way off, and I should have realised that sooner, so I started again. But that's okay. I didn't mind. It wasn't too difficult. So I'm happy with where I'm at now with 5mm needles. I'm still a bit off gauge, but since it's going to be an oversized sweater anyway, I don't really mind. I decided to make the M size this time, and usually I shift towards making the L in most patterns. So I figured I have a bit of margin to compensate if it does turn out bigger, and I've been trying it on as I go, and I do like the fit so far. So yeah, that did mean that I changed the pattern a bit, in the sense of when it asked to do that many rows, I measured every time to see if I was still kind of in the same area as the pattern, and sometimes I stopped sooner. And yeah, I think the top is a bit longer than the pattern called for the M size, but I don't mind. I made sure that the back and front matched up properly, that it fit around my arm, and everything's going fine so far. So yeah, yesterday I started on the neck ribbing. I should get a measuring tape because I think it calls for 9 centimeters, and then to fold it over. I'm gonna see how much I like, because I do prefer a slightly thicker collar. Yeah, I'll see how that goes. I'll probably knit more tonight. I've been noticing that I don't really take my knitting projects on the train to work with me anymore. I'm working from home today. I usually just knit in the evenings now because my train ride isn't that long, and then to get my needles and my project out often just isn't worth it, especially if it's really busy in the mornings. So yeah, I'll probably work on this in the evening after my work. But yeah, I'm really happy so far. I really just wanted a basic oversized sweater in black because I don't really have that anymore. And I'm really trying to make all the sweaters that I want. So I have a really good selection of clothes. And especially just thinking, like, since I can knit, I want to knit as many sweaters as I can to make my dream wardrobe, I guess. So yeah, I'm curious to see how long I'll still need to finish this sweater, as the pattern's really clear, easy to read, and I scanned ahead and there's not really any difficult techniques anymore, but I'm sure I'll still need some time to finish the body if I want it the correct length. Also depending on the yarn that I still have left over after knitting the sleeves and the collar, so we'll see. So I just literally finished the ribbing around the neck and I am so happy with how it turned out. I did the flexible bind off and it's looking so good. Like, and it's stretchy and it's amazing. I still have to cut off the yarn. But yeah, I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's really neat inside as well. I don't know why I've never had such a neat result with any other knit before, but I am very happy with how it's looking. I'm now going to cast on the sleeves, I think, and work on them one by one before, like I said, finishing the body eventually. But yeah, very happy with how it's looking so far. Because I was a bit off gauge, I didn't end up modifying the pattern just a bit in terms of when to stop knitting to reach a certain length. I really just tried on the sweater as much as possible in between knitting just to be sure it was the exact fit that I wanted. It felt a bit silly at times to wrestle myself into this half-finished garment, hoping my stitches didn't fall off the needles, but I am happy I did so. In total, I believe I worked on the sweater for about 3 weeks, only in the evenings after work. Okay, I thought I would still give an update on my Ozetta sweater, the 1031 pattern. I really love it. I've been wearing it for 2 weeks now, I think. Yeah, I really enjoyed making it. It fits really nicely. It's exactly what I wanted, really. Just wanted an oversized sweater, but not too oversized. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. The only downside is, as you can maybe see, is that the pilling is really bad on this yarn. And even from just the second time that I wore it, it was already pilling like crazy, which for me is really disappointing because I did put in a lot of time in making this. So yeah, I'm not really happy with that. I'm a bit disappointed. Like, it's literally, you just pull it off like that. There's huge bits coming off. But yeah, I used the drops of wool. So that's a wool and alpaca blend, 65% wool and 35% alpaca. And while it was really lovely to knit with, and I have used the drops, I think Lima before, for my boyfriend's sweater that I made for him for Christmas, I'm really disappointed with how much it's pilling. Like, yeah, I put in so much time to make this. It wasn't like it took ages or anything, but when you do put multiple hours into a project, you do want it to look good. And I feel like I'm always like picking off random bits of fluff from the sweater now. But yeah, I'll definitely still wear it a lot. I do love it and I love the fit, but I probably will be making it again in the future and then choosing for a different yarn because it's not worth it for me to make another sweater in this yarn with that much pilling already from the start of wearing it. So yeah, overall, very, very, very content with the pattern. Loved making it. It was very clear. Love the little details like on the sleeve here with the shoulder. Love the neckline, love everything. Just not my own choice of yarn, sadly. My next project was one I had been putting off for a while. I had actually already made the Clematis sweater, now probably about 8 months ago, but I had made it a size too large. I was convinced it would be okay while knitting until I blocked it and it was way too oversized on me. I had really envisioned something that was more fitted and decided quite quickly after finishing it to start again, but it did take me a while to find the courage to do so. A big reason why I didn't feel like frogging what I had done was that I had done the bulk of the sweater on a trip with some good friends, and I always like to believe that where and when and with who you make a garment matters a lot for the final product and if you'll wear it. I might be a bit sentimental in that case, it might sound a bit emotional, but it did feel like undoing those stitches was like giving up a bit of that memory. The more I reflected on it though, the more I disagreed with my initial thoughts. Even with undoing the sweater and rewinding the balls of yarn, it still had the memory of the shape it held before. I knew even if I washed it, it would always have been that first version, that first shape, made with my hands in that company. This sweater was in a way gaining experience at the same time as I was. In the past, I would have never, ever frogged back an entire sweater. I didn't even go back to fix mistakes. But in my past few projects, I have learnt to embrace the mistakes I make and have taken the time to go back and fix them. It felt like extra care seeping into the final garment, and I feel like I've grown a lot in that. I think yarn memory in general is such an interesting topic that I definitely want to research more. I ended up casting on again in a size medium this time. The first version I made was a size L, with the same Katia Merino Baby in Ecru, held together with drops Kids Silk in Natural, I believe. I think I also sized down in the needles, just because I didn't have the ones that the pattern called for, and it may get gauged like that. The pattern was very clear and easy to follow, especially the second time around, but even the first time I remember it was very handy with the images included, and I love the structure of this cardigan. At first, I wasn't convinced on the fact that it connects up front, but now I absolutely adore that detail. I did realise only when finishing the button plackets that I had done something wrong with the positioning. I couldn't figure out what. I thought I had followed everything to the T, but apparently I didn't. But I actually don't mind how it looks, and it makes it uniquely mine, so I left it as is.